Hello, I'm Regin Ahmed with BBC World News. Our top stories. Shootings at a nightclub in Orlando, Florida. Police warn people to stay away and there are multiple injuries. UEFA launches an investigation after a third night of violence in Marseille. Rival fans clash before and after the England-Russia game.
As soon as they scored their goal, they started to invade the England fans in the corner. Of course, the English supporters ran and they had nowhere to go.
Some breaking news. We're getting reports of a shooting in the US city of Orlando. The reports suggest a number of people have been shot in Pulse nightclub. Emergency services are at the scene. The Orlando police has confirmed multiple people have been injured. They're advising people to stay away from the area. Well, a few minutes ago I spoke to Ricardo Negron Almodovar. He was at the Pulse nightclub when the shooting began, and he described what happened and what he saw.
Okay, so this was close to 2 a.m., which is like their closing time or so, and we just heard rapid gunfire go off, and at least the room I was in, people went down to the floor. I was not able to see a shooter or people get hurt. I wouldn't know about that. I guess the shooter also shot at the ceiling because you could feel like the glass coming down from the lamps, I guess. And at some point there was a brief pause, and a group of us just got up and went out the exit that leads to the patio, the patio area, and just try to get out. We found an exit, and after that, at least I can only speak for myself. I just ran, and maybe a couple of other people that I did not know, but we just ran out and got away from the club.
And when you were in the nightclub and you heard the shooting, were you told to get down on the ground, or was that an instinctive reaction?
Basically, everybody just went down to the ground, and we were just looking at the floor. I remember I had someone over me, and then that person got up to run, and I just followed. I don't know who that person was. I was by myself. All I know is that people were screaming, and when that brief moment with no shooting happened, we just went out the back door.
So you weren't told to escape, you've just found an opportunity and got out as quickly as you could?
All I remember was screaming, and people were scared. I could hear people saying that they were scared, and other people saying, like, let's run out. So we just ran out.
Can you describe the nightclub itself? Is it quite a large building? Are there a number of rooms?
It is a large building. It has two different rooms, one very big, which has the dance floor, and it also has like an outdoor area, which is where some of us were able to go out, because the bigger dance floor leads to that outdoor area.
In other breaking news, Chinese authorities say up to 3 people have been injured following an explosion at Shanghai's Pudong Airport. The airport's management said that the blast happened in the check-in area of Terminal 2 and appeared to have been caused by some sort of homemade explosive. The condition of those injured is so far unknown. Flights in and out of the airport haven't been affected. The Russian Football Union is facing fines following violent scenes before and after the country's Euro 2016 football match against England in Marseille. 30 people were injured, 2 of them seriously. This was the 3rd day of violence in Marseille in the hours before kick-off. Police used tear gas and water cannon to break up street fighting in the area around the Stade Velodrome. As the match ended, Russian fans attacked England supporters inside the stadium. Our correspondent Lucy Williamson, who's been following the story in Marseille, says the city has witnessed similar scenes of violence in the past.
We have seen similar scenes before, and I think the fact that this is happening in Marseille is triggering a lot of memories for people here of what happened during the World Cup, which France hosted in 1998. There were similar scenes of violence between fans there at that time, and really I think last night was when people really began to talk again about it reaching that kind of level. You'll remember that yesterday afternoon there was some fairly big disturbances, big clashes between rival groups of fans just in the streets around where I'm standing now, though you wouldn't believe it to look at them now, would you? And the police firing tear gas, later on in the day using water cannon to try and break up different groups of fans. So yes, it's not unprecedented, sadly, and already this morning on social media and elsewhere some people are asking the question about why this particular match between England and Russia was scheduled for Marseille, which has a history of violence.
In other news, the Prime Minister of Bangladesh has vowed to end the wave of targeted killings of minorities and secular citizens in the country. Police say they've arrested more than 3,000 people in their hunt for the Islamist extremists believed to be responsible for the murders. The Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has told his opponents there can be no referendum on his leadership until next year at the earliest. Opposition parties blame the socialist leader for the country's economic crisis. They want to use the vote to force him from power, but they can only trigger new elections in Venezuela if they win a referendum this year. The president argues there's not enough time. 11 members of the German parliament who are of Turkish origin have been placed under police protection. They had received threats for supporting a resolution describing the mass killings of Armenians in Turkey during the First World War as genocide. The move by parliament has outraged the government of Turkey, which does not recognise the mass killings as a genocide. And we just want to take you to some live pictures now. We understand these are coming from Orlando, Florida, where there has been a nightclub shooting. And that's in Orlando, Florida, a nightclub shooting. And we believe that there have been some hostages taken. People have been told to stay away from the area. There's a lot of emergency services there. And several police there as well. We're still waiting for updates. It's not very clear what's happened. We do believe that some people have been injured as well. We'll bring you more on that as it comes to hand.